Hi, my name is Courtney Morris. I'm a student in the master's degree program at UT Arlington, and today I'm reviewing the leadership book, The Power of Positive Leadership: How and Why Positive Leaders Transform Teams and Organizations and Change the World by Jon Gordon. Jon Gordon is a well-known author and a motivational speaker who's been featured in many journals and other news reporting agencies. He offers teaching at many education levels, and he's got 2 degrees, a Bachelor of Science in Human Ecology and a Master of Arts in Teaching. Like I said, he's a best-selling author. Many world-renowned companies have recognized him, and he's got a few very popular books that I've listed here in the center, one large one being The Energy Bus. He focuses on leadership, teamwork, and positivity, and he offers workshops and certifications globally. The first keynote he makes in his book is that he's not naturally a positive person. I thought that was interesting because after sharing a personal story about his marriage, he came to the conclusion that he was going to change that negative outlook and taught himself to be positive instead of letting negativity control his life. So now he is reaching and preaching positivity to many audiences, but as an overview, the book is formatted in a really interesting way. He utilizes a framework that he outlines in the very beginning of the book here, and he states these characteristics that a leader or a positive leader should have, and then each of those characteristics is a chapter in the book. So each of those chapters is then broken down into short subheadings that are a few paragraphs long each, and there are a lot of quotes, encouragements, and then daily life stuff that are explained using a short story or taking his personal experience and point of view, or giving examples on how to utilize these positive strategies of the framework as a leader. So, like I said, I started talking about this purpose, but he wants to encourage leaders inside and outside of the workplace. He wants to share his principles of positivity to make changes as needed in the case of negativity. He wants to guide teamwork to be more involved and connected with the team that you're leading. And then he wants to create better outcomes for the team and organization as a whole. He shares tips and tricks on how to navigate this and deflect negativity so that it doesn't alter the course of action as a leader. His targeted audience is a general term, would be leaders, of course. I've listed some here: executives, entrepreneurs, supervisors, and coaches, but truly he focuses on anyone who has the ability to lead. So that's people that look up to you in the workplace or, again, outside of the workplace. He does emphasize that you don't have to be a management title or a leadership role to be considered a leader, and that anyone can lead by example. So you should be leading by example in your daily life in the event that you are able to utilize that for people who are working under you or even beside you. So, some strengths within the book: he uses real life scenarios, so I thought his examples were really strong. He takes his personal experiences, whether good or bad, and then relates them to a piece of that framework that we talked about in the beginning. He emphasizes turning negativity into positivity, so he's sharing, again, practical ways to look at the situation from a different perspective, whether that be his perspective or someone in or outside of the workplace, and using that positivity to make a difference in leadership. My personal favorite part of the book is in chapter 8. He talks about creating a relationship with your team as a leader and leading by walking around. So I thought this was really interesting because he goes in depth about walking around in your workplace, being there, being able to listen to the people who are doing the daily activities, and just being in the know and working with the daily flow that you don't typically see as a leader. Some shortcomings I noticed were he does talk about his faith leading him into positivity quite a bit. So I think that this religion-based viewpoint could turn away some great leaders if they don't have the same type of beliefs. One other one is a leader being always positive and that coming off as ingenuine to the people that are following them, and then ignoring feedback that is offered up by peers if it's negative. So he talks about deflecting those negative thoughts or the negative information, but I think that sometimes the negative feedback from employees or peers could be constructive criticism, so that could be potentially utilized. And then the last thing is suppressing the negative emotions of leaders in the entire workplace. I think that could create a buildup of negative emotion, and that could all eventually come out later in a worse manner. Achievement of objectives, I think he makes his outlook really clear, and he outlines the book in a very systematic manner that helps you consider those foundational aspects of the leadership role and how positivity transforms that. Like I said, his objectives: creating a positive leadership culture, overcoming challenges, empowering others, and leading with purpose and vision. He does talk about his personal vision in one of the chapters, so I thought that was an interesting bit of it as well. But he meets all of those with evidence to improve workplace culture, conflicts in the workplace, and then just personal employee development. Some examples he had throughout his life were some epiphanies that he had to change from, for example, in his marriage. And then he also utilized outside organizations like Disney and Southwest, who have a very positive outward outlook, and those truly have those trustworthy, loyal customers that you see coming again and again. So that just paves the way to success for them. I did insert a quote here. This is like one of the last lines of the book, and I just thought that it was a good outlook for a positivity blurb. And then, as my recommendation overall, I've mentioned it quite a few times, but I think it is written systematically and formatted in a way that will help leaders understand and just continue to influence that positivity within them in their workplace as a leader, or even as just someone being seen as a peer. Starting with leaders, positivity can enhance that effectiveness and achieve better results overall. And then my recommendation for who to read this would be someone who's starting in a new leadership position, or at a lower level leadership position. I think this could be a great outlook to build upon. And then whenever you find yourself getting into those negative thoughts, I think that you could always go back and reference this. So I did rate it as a 4 out of 5, just taking that one off for the things we considered as the shortcomings, but thought it was a great read and a good end to the class. So thank you so much.